Hi, my name is Lisa, and I am an alcoholic. My sobriety date is January 14th, 2004. I started drinking at a very young age, about 14 years old. The first time I got drunk, it was really obvious that I had an adverse reaction to alcohol. I had alcohol poisoning. I just drank way too much. I was sick. And it was quite obvious right out of the gate that I had an allergy, but that didn't stop me. I kept pushing. And, I showed all the signs of being an alcoholic very early on. So problems came pretty quickly, and trouble came pretty quickly, and chaos came pretty quickly, and the drama and all that stuff that comes with it. So I continued to drink for years and get in and out of trouble. One thing I want to say is there are many things I did that brought on a ton of shame and guilt. Now, of course, I can look back at those things and be so grateful for them because they helped me reach my bottom. But I will say, it didn't feel like that at the time. And here are some of the things that I said I would never do that I found myself doing as a drinker. I swore sometimes I wouldn't drink because I had an important event the next day or something important at work, and I would find myself drinking, and I would think I'll just have 2 or 3, and then I would get smashed, and I would miss whatever appointment I had or event. I would drink and drive. Every time I drank and drove, I felt so much guilt and shame. I promised myself I wouldn't get in my car again. I was so scared of drinking and driving, yet I continued to do it. I did drugs. I was one of these alcoholics who prided herself on just being a drinker. That's legal. I wore it like a badge of courage, actually. I can drink people under the table. It's nobody's business. I don't do drugs. Well, I tried drugs, and pretty soon I could not stop that either. I found myself in dangerous situations that I would never have gotten into if I weren't drinking. And with all this came a lot of blackouts, and the blackouts really made me not trust myself. With all the trouble that came with my alcoholism and all the sadness and the chaos, eventually I found myself at a very low bottom, especially spiritually and emotionally. I called a friend who had told me about AA once, and he suggested I go to a meeting. I went to a meeting, and I am very, very fortunate because I was so hungover or so tired from the night before and just so tired of my life. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. That when I walked in, and they changed the meeting from being a third step to a first step because there were 2 of us at our first meeting that night, and they talked about their experience, strength, and hope, and I immediately felt, where have you people been all my life? They talked about the blackouts and the things that they promised themselves they'd never do, and something else they talked about was the solution. So they also helped me with a directory and picked out some meetings for me the next day to go to. One of the women suggested I get a home group right away that met regularly, and that's exactly what I did. I'm so grateful that I got a home group right away. In that home group, I got a temporary sponsor. I was able to go to step meetings, speaker meetings. I was able to get into service pretty soon, about 90 days sober. I was sharing my story. Now, I do want to talk about something that I have found to be really helpful, and I've been sober for some years now. I am not going to sit here and say it's always easy and that it's been really easy and that I never thought of drinking again. Well, none of that's true. But I will tell you that it has been beyond my wildest dreams to be sober and live this wonderful lifestyle. And one of the keys to this happy, joyous, and free is obviously the steps. But another key for me to being happy, joyous, and free regularly, and this was helpful immediately, was gratitude. I heard at a meeting, a grateful heart will not drink. Well, when I first got to AA, I was so happy. I didn't have, a hangover in the mornings. I wasn't blacking out. I remembered what I did. It wasn't hard to be grateful. Well, a few weeks into the program, and I really started to get a little cagey and scared of the steps and freaked out about the God thing and started wondering if this was for me. And my temporary sponsor suggested I write a gratitude list, something that I would write at night and think about all the things I did that day that I would not have been able to do if I had been drinking. She said everything from what I ate to the people I talked to, having good health, anything I could think of, put it on the list. Oh, my goodness, that was so helpful. She also suggests that I take a couple of those things and thank my higher power for them at night. Well, I continued to do that, making gratitude lists for years in the program, and it is so helpful. But something else happened as I continued to stay sober and work this program. I went through a little period where I was never putting anything before AA, but I was edging my higher power out, meaning I was taking my will back on a lot of things in my life. And the gratitude list started to act against me. I'd get myself so frustrated because I was getting real controlling and micromanaging things. And I'd write a gratitude list to try and make myself feel better. And then I'd just feel bad that I had all these things to be grateful for. And here I was, stupid me, being frustrated. With the help of a sponsor and my home group and the steps, I was able to realize that I was edging my higher power out, and that gratitude and the steps and the program, of course, were still the answer. What I just needed to go deeper. And for me, that's when I really had this awakening that gratitude now is an action word. And what I mean by that is to get my happy, joyous, and free every single day. And I really do mean that. All I have to do is put Alcoholics Anonymous service first. Who can I help? How can I serve? That step 7 prayer, that step 3 prayer. How can I best be a service to my higher power and to my fellows? Thinking about other people and then getting into action with it. That's where my gratitude is today. I have so many wonderful things to offer because of this program. And I wasn't offering them. I was hoarding them for a little bit while I was sober. And that's where I started to get frustrated and edge my higher power out. I'm so grateful today for so many ways to be in service. Doing this recording is one. Having spiritual companions on this journey that I sponsor is another. Taking this message to prisons and rehabs, being a treasurer of a home group. So many ways to be in service. They bring me joy and happiness, and I am forever grateful to this wonderful lifestyle. I came to Alcoholics Anonymous because I had to, and I was scared. I stay and I continue to come because I love this life and this lifestyle, and I truly enjoy seeing other people get a hold of sobriety and recovery. May God bless you and keep you, and thank you so much for your sobriety and for listening.